Hello, cocktail lovers! I am Miroslava, sommelier and wine educator, your guide on this journey through the world of wines, spirits, and cocktails. Today, I will once again return to Scotch and the history of Scotland. Drambuie is probably the most famous Scottish liquor, made from aged Scotch whiskey, Hifa honey, herbs, and spices. Its name comes from Gaelic Dramboich, meaning the drink that satisfies. A fitting name, I must say. Drambuie owes its presence in our glasses today in the historic struggle between the Stuart and Hanover dynasties, a power clash noted for the conflict between Catholics and Protestants for control of Great Britain. By 1688, Britain was ruled by the Stuart dynasty, who were mostly good Catholic at that time when England was becoming increasingly Protestant. That year, the Goyles Revolution took place. King James II and his descendants were deposed and exiled. His Protestant daughter and her husband William of Orange ascended to the throne. From then on, Catholics were legally excluded from the British line of succession. Starting in 1714, the Hanover dynasty solidified their hold on the throne. But James II descendants and followers, known as the Jacobites, did not accept defeat. They led free uprising, all aiming to restore the Stuarts. Each time they found support in the Scottish Highlands, where loyalty ran deep. The Scots were not only most Catholic, but also viewed the conflict as a struggle for independence from English control. The final uprising came in 1745, led by Charles Edward Stuart, grandson of King James, better known as Bonnie Prince Charlie. In 1746, after the disastrous Battle of Culloden, the prince fled to the Isle of Skye, where he was sheltered by the Mackinnon clan until he could escape to the mainland. Now, Prince Charlie had with him a pharmacist, likely French, who prepared a restorative elixir for him, something he had drunk daily to strengthen his health and spirit. When we left the Isle of Skye, the prince gifted the recipe for the elixir to the head of the Mackinnon clan in gratitude for their loyalty. This, according to official Drambuie story, is how the elixir recipe came to the Mackinnon hands. It was featured in the Drambuie's 1920 advertisement, and it remains the company's official version for this day. For the next 150 years, the Mackinnon clan passed the recipe down through generations. They prepared the liquor for themselves and occasionally for friends and fellow clan members. In 1872, Alexander Kennett, the head of the Mackinnon clan, gave the recipe to his friend John Ross, the owner of a Broadford Hotel on the Isle of Skye, for wider use. John's son, James Ross, and his wife Eleanor developed and improved the recipe, most notably by replacing the original brandy base with Scotch whiskey, a much more logical choice for Scots on the Isle of Skye. They also refined the herbal composition. The couple began preparing the liquor and serving it in their hotel, which they inherited. It was actually one of their hotel guests who coined the name, Drambuie, giving the Rosses the inspiration for the liquor's official name. In 1893, James Ross registered a trademark, giving the drink its anglicized name, Drambuie. The Ross family then began selling the liquor commercially. In 1909, after James' death, Eleanor Ross moved to Edinburgh and began working with Malcolm Mackinnon to produce Drambuie there. Malcolm Mackinnon belonged to a different Mackinnon clan than one that had rescued Prince Charlie, but the shared name provided a great marketing advantage. In 1912, Malcolm Mackinnon purchased the recipe outright, and in 1914, the Drambuie Liquor Company was officially founded. At the time, Malcolm was also a partner in Macbeth & Son, a whiskey blending and distributing company. This connection proved invaluable. He promoted Drambuie to existing whiskey clients, helping the liquor quickly gain popularity. By 1916, Drambuie had made its way to the cellars of the House of Lords, becoming the first liquor ever allowed into these prestigious halls. During both the First and Second World Wars, Drambuie was supplied to officers in the Highland Regiment stationed abroad, which significantly helped build its international reputation. Bonnie Prince Charlie's elixir had now achieved worldwide recognition. A century later, in 2014, the recipe passed from one family-owned company to another. Drambuie is now produced by William Grant and Sons. Drambuie is rich, honey-sweetened whiskey liquor with complex aroma of herbs and spices. Distinct notes include saffron, orange peel, clove, vanilla, and fennel. The exact recipe, of course, remains a closely guarded secret. Drambuie is typically enjoyed neat as a digestive, either with or without ice. It's also a popular ingredient in many cocktails. Perhaps the most famous of these is the Rusty Nail. The Rusty Nail is a simple blend of Drambuie and Scotch whiskey. In essence, Drambuie diluted with its own base spirit. Many believe the cocktail was first created in 1937 by Bennyman for the British Industries Fair and was initially named after the event, BIF. However, its only rose to major fame in the early 1960s when it appeared at Manhattan's legendary Club 21. The cocktail's name was firmly established in 1963 when Gina McKinnon, the chairman of the Drambuie Liquor Company, publicly endorsed the Rusty Nail in the New York Times. The origin of the name Rusty Nail remains unclear. According to one legend, the first cocktail was stirred with a rusty nail. Another version claims the name came from the rusty nails used to secure the Drambuie crate that held the bottle from which the first cocktail was made. The third explanation suggests the name refers to the color of the drink, supposedly resembling rusted metal, though personally I think rust has a different shade altogether. Whatever the truth, the name stuck, and the cocktail has its known the Rusty Nail ever since. The drink's popularity exploded thanks to the Red Pack, an informal group of Hollywood stars and showbiz icons that formed in the 1940s around Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall and lasted in the early 1990s. In the 1960s, Frank Sinatra became the group's leader. Once the Rusty Nail appeared in Club 21, it quickly became the signature cocktail for the pack. The frequently drank it in the public, which helped catapult the drink in mainstream fame. Though its popularity later waned, the Rusty Nail remains a respected classic and may well be poised for revival. Today, the Rusty Nail is officially recognized by ABA in its unforgettable category. Let's make it. In the glasses filled with ice cube, add 25 ml of Drambuie, and 45 ml of Scotch whiskey. Stir gently. For authenticity, I could stir it with Rusty Nail, but let's do it with spoon. Garnish with orange zest. This one for you, this one for me. Stay with me, subscribe to my channel. Feel free to ask questions and don't hesitate to support me. Cheers!